So last week I was in China and I bought this phone, the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, and have been daily driving it for a week. Now, if I have to pick the best Android phone of 2024, it's the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. This is a proper flagship device of this year with literally zero compromise. But I am literally stunned by how good the Oppo Find X7 Ultra is. It cost me just 6,000 yuan, which converts to less than $850, meaning that it is 50% less expensive than the S24 Ultra. And yet, this thing does not have any kind of compromises that we normally see on a sub-$1,000 flagship. In fact, this phone performs better than the S24 Ultra in some aspects too. First, you get an equally nice looking design with this vegan leather finish at the back and subtle curves on the side that helps for a nice grip. It also has a nice amount of heft to it. The buttons are located at the right location, and this fingerprint sensor also resides in a very comfortable position, just the way I like it. The camera module is also quite unique here, and it does not look that bad actually. The camera bump is quite big, to be honest, and protrudes a lot from the back, but it's understandable given the beefier camera hardware. Recently, you see this has become a norm on Chinese phones. You get a similar implementation on the Vivo X100 Pro and the Xiaomi 14 Ultra as well. The Oppo Find X7 Ultra also gets a very proper IP68 dust and water resistance, and there's also an alert slider here just like OnePlus phones. Apart from ring and silent, you can even toggle to VIP mode, which disables the camera, microphones and location access as well. However, unlike the S24 Ultra, which has the new armor glass for less reflection, you only get Gorilla Glass Victus 2 here. Plus, the frames are still aluminium and not the more robust titanium that we get on the S24 Ultra. So these are basically the two nitpicky compromises which I can think of in the design aspect of the Find X7 Ultra. But in the display department, Chinese phones are getting as good as iPhones or Samsung in recent times. The Oppo Find X7 Ultra uses a similar display as the OnePlus 12, and as expected, this screen is superb. It has a nice color calibration, the LTPO refresh rate works very well, and you get a fantastic touch response. The S24 Ultra can get slightly brighter outdoors though, but the difference, I must say, is quite minimal. That being said, the Find X7 Ultra's display impresses in basically two aspects. First, it supports all the HDR playback formats like HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision, whereas S24 Ultra does not get the Dolby Vision treatment. Second, it also supports 2160Hz high PWM dimming versus the measly 492Hz on the S24 Ultra. So when you're watching content or just browsing the web in super low brightness, there's no screen flickering issue here, which helps with less headaches and nausea as well. The Find X7 Ultra also has an excellent vibration motor, which is actually better than the S24 Ultra in my opinion. So interacting with this phone is super nice. And in the settings, you can also turn on system haptics to get nice haptic feedback while navigating through the UI, just like we get on the OnePlus 12. You can also change the intensity or how you want the vibration to feel. It's very neat. One area where I think Oppo could have done better is maybe offering an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor instead of the optical one, which annoyingly lights up to register your fingerprint sensor. Anyway, the performance is another aspect where the Find X7 Ultra performs as well as the S24 Ultra. Both these phones are powered by the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, and they both have a huge vapor chamber cooling system along with DDR5 XRAM and UFS 4.0 storage. The storage speed is slightly slower on Oppo versus what you get on the S24 Ultra, but this actually does not matter a lot in real-life usage. Everything on both of these phones is super fast with no hint of delays, no app crashes or anything as such. Even the gaming FPS and stability are quite similar. However, all the games are limited to just 60 FPS on the X7 Ultra, which maybe is because this phone is exclusive to China only. So possibly international games such as PUBG are running at just 60 FPS here. In China, PUBG is called the Game for Peace, and that runs at 90 FPS. As for software, the Oppo Find X7 Ultra comes with the latest ColorOS 14 based on Android 14, which is quite similar to what you get on the OnePlus 12, except for some visual changes changes in aesthetics. I think the S24 Ultra is slightly ahead in the software department as we speak. You get 7 years of OS update commitment versus just 4 years on Oppo, and there are also tons of exclusive AI features of Samsung phones, which is both practical and fun to use. But looks like Oppo is also working on a familiar AI feature in its home country China, but it will take some time to reach what Samsung and Google have delivered with their latest phones. Now, since both of these phones have similar hardware, I found the battery endurance on these phones to be almost identical. You will easily get up to 7 hours of screen on time on both of these phones on a day, even with a lot of gaming and photography mixed. With Oppo, charging is super fast though. You get a 100-watt PD charger inside the box that can get the phone from 0 to 100% in just 25 minutes, whereas the S24 Ultra takes more than double the time with the 45-watt charger. You can also get super quick 50-watt wireless charging and 15-watt reverse wireless charging on the Find X7 Ultra, which is almost 3 times quicker than what you get with the S24 Ultra. Okay, so up until now, the Find X7 Ultra is competing pretty head-to-head in terms of design, the display, performance, haptics, and even the speakers. But we all know that the S24 Ultra is just crazy good when it comes to the cameras. So can the Find X7 Ultra compete against the King? The answer is a surprising yes. This phone has left a very good impression on me, and I truly did not expect it to perform this well and compete against the best. Here you get all kinds of flagship grade camera hardware, from a 50 megapixel 1-inch primary lens to a 50 megapixel ultra wide to 50 megapixel 3x telephoto to a 50 megapixel 6x periscope and a 32 megapixel selfie camera up front. You also get Hasselblad calibration, which seems to do excellent color rendition in bringing true to life photos. So comparing it with the S24 Ultra, the area where the Find X7 Ultra truly shines is the 5x versus 6x portraits. As you can see from these samples, the Find X7 Ultra produces better skin tone, nice dynamic range, and precise edge detection. So yeah, it just looks better processed than what Samsung delivers. I also like the daytime images from both these phones. The S24 Ultra occasionally does a slightly better job in terms of overall balance and contrast levels, but Oppo is not far behind. In fact, in some images, both look quite identical too, be it in terms of details, white balance, or sharpness. But in this macro shot, I think Oppo is doing better, whereas in this flower image, Samsung looks more pleasing. So it's like a 50-50. Anyway, one thing I found is that because of the bigger 1-inch sensor on the Find X7 Ultra, you can easily get slightly brightened and also slightly saturated images both in daytime as well as low light, which works in Oppo's favor sometimes, but at times it struggles to maintain proper exposure. So that is something we can see Oppo work on with future updates. The aspect where I found this Samsung camera to be slightly superior is number 1, the ultra wide angle camera. Not that Oppo is bad, but the S24 Ultra is slightly more consistent. Number 2, videos is slightly less jittery on Samsung, but this is something you will only notice if you look very carefully at a color accurate display, and even in zoom shots, the S24 Ultra delivers slightly better results. But that is to be expected since we know that Samsung has been in this game for a long time. So overall, as I said in the very beginning of this video, I am super impressed with what Oppo has done with this year's Find X7 Ultra flagship. It brings all the goodies of what you get with the best-in-class S24 Ultra at 50% less price, which is quite remarkable, honestly. However, this phone is currently not launching globally. It's China exclusive, but I think BBK Electronics, the parent company that owns both Oppo and OnePlus, should launch it as maybe the OnePlus 12 Pro. We have seen that they do it with the foldables, right? The OnePlus Open, which was the best foldable of 2023, is in fact the rebranded Oppo Find N3. So I think this could very well be the OnePlus 12 Pro. Compared to the OnePlus 12, the 12 Pro will solve all the limitations, such as it will bring a proper IP68 ingress protection, a much superior camera experience, and a more premium design at a slightly more premium price, let's say around 90,000 in India or some $999 in the US. And at that price, it will have everything to make premium phones like the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max sweat pretty badly. So everybody, that was all for my in-depth review of the Oppo Find X7 Ultra. Do let me know in the comments below if you think this phone is a better choice over the more expensive S24 Ultra or the iPhone 15 Pro Max in the comments below. Till then, I'm Pratima Adhikari and thank you so much for watching.